Kristen Concert cucked me again.
Position.
I'm not remind you
All
of
right,
shit.
so 3, 2, 1, and we're live.
I don't know where I put my Coke.
Squirrel.
What? Oh, live! It's Monday night, ladies and gentlemen, live on Degenerates with Dice on the Monday night RPG talk show. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have a fucking show for you tonight? Because not only do you have your, well, partially normal crew of Joe, Kristen, and the internet's favorite dipshit, but we have our long last friend, Mr. Via Vertus himself, Matt.
Matthew.
Hello.
Everybody's favorite dungeon daddy.
Hello, I like warm hugs.
You say you like warm hugs.
Yeah. Matt is the dungeon daddy to my basement father.
There are
Wash
things
your
that-
hands.
there are things there I don't need to talk. I don't need to know.
There's a lot to
Are
unpack
we not
there.
calling
We'll come
people
back to
out? Did we stop doing that on this show?
What?
On
bad.
that note,
I gotta throw out my notes for tonight then.
we're talking about Homebrew versus Premade Adventures. Uh, you already know I'm Team Homebrew, but we'll get into that later.
Wait, pre-made
I guess-
adventures. I thought we were talking about homemade stills.
Nope.
That's
different
part
word.
of Homebrew, but yeah, I mean,
Oh, we're,
Yeah.
we're talking. Yeah.
We're not.
I
we're
mean,
not
you
bootleggers.
will need alcohol in the process of doing homebrew because it is pretty brutal sometimes. But
Once again, I need to adjust my notes for tonight's show.
This is why we can have nice things.
yeah. So gaming woods first. Anybody want to do the gaming wood?
Well, let's see. My gaming win is I was not personally victimized by the person in the bottom right hand corner of your screens currently this week, because apparently
You were kind of.
real life is more important than fucking tabletop for some reason. So
That's not accurate.
that's what I
That's not
said, Matt.
accurate at
But
all.
she was like,
Not accurate at
"It's
all."
important." And I was like, "It's not that important."
Raising people that are not assholes is kind of important. So,
Yeah, good luck with that.
I mean, yeah. That's,
have you met his mother? Have you met his mother? It's not gonna pan out well.
Listen, I didn't want to say it. I was waiting on Matt to say it.
You said your mom's awesome. Hell yeah, you did. I,
I
love
heard
you.
that. Yeah.
Hey, tell him it's not polite to lie on the internet. He's going to turn into a cable news network.
Okay, first off, no one ever lies on the internet. We all know
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Abraham Lincoln said it, so it has to be true.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
My
those
mother
are
lied on the internet the
definitely
other day.
words.
She posted this picture of like what PTSD, ADHD, bipolar, and something else looked like in the brain, like MRI images. And I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, look at you! Good job, finally acknowledging that ADHD is a real thing." And
Yeah.
she goes, "I never said it wasn't real. I just don't think that you have it." And me and my wife both went,
Have
"The
she met
fuck?
you?
Have you met me,
What the
lady?"
fuck? Like, I'm sorry, but yeah,
What?
yeah. That's you don't need.
I used to
you
do
don't need a
cocaine to
clinical
calm
diagnosis.
down.
Same. Fucking same. Line of meth. Got it. I can do one thing now at a time. It's fantastic.
That's right. I'm gonna turn this way so you don't see my dirty socks from earlier today.
Ew.
So,
Wash your hands.
Kristen, do you have a gaming win?
I had to do real life this week and not play.
She was
Oh!
not personally victimized by
Wait.
the person in your top left-hand corner.
True. I was not. Oh, my virtue is still intact. Yeah. What do I? I am playing in an in-person table, and it's the guys'
Oh.
homebrew stuff, and it's a lot of fun. I have actually gotten pretty far and actually playing D&D once a month, so I'm very excited about that.
Awesome.
Yay.
Awesome.
So
Matt?
Yeah, we I have some friends here locally that they were talking about how awesome their game was, and I'm like, yes, but have you played this game called 7th Sea? And they were like, 7th what? And then so about a month ago I started with just the one guy, and now like his first story arc is done, And so we added another person, and then there's like 2 or 3 other people that are interested, but we're intentionally slow growing this campaign, like not just bringing in a full table and hoping for the best. Like we're letting it sort of naturally evolve as a story, and it's been really cool. We've added another person, like I said, 2 or 3 other people, so it was a really cool thing going on. So
But has anybody tried to roll to seduce the ship yet?
no.
And are they really playing 7C if they
Are they
don't
really
try to roll
playing?
to produce a ship?
Correct.
Yeah, I guess we could hop into the topic. I'm sure we're going to get off topic because Jen's
Wait.
not here. Jen is the only one without ADHD in our group, so
I have it in the gaming
or
win.
ADD. Oh, you do?
Yes, we
Way
started
to
our.
fucking derail the conversation, Kristen.
But
With
you are a
Maddie
hurricane
talking.
and derail everything.
You got a shout out, Matt.
We
So what?
started our gaming club
Oh, yay.
at my work. We started the gaming club with the kids last week, so that's a win
Nice.
for me.
Awesome.
Is that what you sent me the other day?
Yeah,
Okay, I was confused. I was like,
you're always confused.
this is not Fallout or what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was just like, sweet.
I like how he just plays along though. He's like, it's fine. It's fine. She's a fucking psychopath. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's who
You know,
she is
kinda
as a
like-
person.
Kind of like when I snapped you today, and I was like, I definitely did not put pre-workout in a bang and then go to the gym, and you were like, okay,
I believe you.
I did, and I felt fucking incredible until my gym partner was like, hey, you know, like you really shouldn't do that, right? Like it could hurt you. And I was like, sir, you have no clue the amount of stimulants that I used to do. My heart is built for this.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, the only thing that's gonna kill me is me, and I'm a procrastinator.
Right.
So I guess my gaming win is that it's kind of a predetermined gaming win, but Thursday I start my new campaign for Savage
Yay!
Rifts. And that's kind of why I thought about doing a homebrew episode, because I am homebrewing some of it. And I'll get to the exposition of that in a little bit. But yeah, I'm starting my new big campaign that's every other week. It'll be fun.
My
But that's
Yay.
about it. And I think we're playing Neon Lords next week, right, Kristen?
We are.
Where's my
We
Yeah,
are.
invite?
I think we're gonna do that probably on the stream, unless Natalie plays. I think Natalie doesn't want to be on the stream. We'll
That's
see.
fair.
Probably
That's
will
fair.
be playing on the stream though.
Sounds good.
Natalie has a
little
child.
baby. Mhm.
Yeah, so she doesn't sleep very much probably now. So,
Yeah.
so let's get into it. Homebrew versus pre-made adventures, or as some people call them, adventures in a can.
Well, the obvious answer here is that if you're not playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition modules, then you don't know what you're doing and you hate fun. And I say that because Matt will back me up on that 100%
Magic
What?
and wrestling.
unequivocally. Yeah.
Sorry, say what?
I said, obviously, if you're not playing D&D 5th edition pre-built adventure modules, then you're playing tabletop wrong because they're the only ones who know how to do anything. And you'll back me
They're
up on
pretty
that.
much the worst adventure
100%.
modules on the planet are the 5th edition.
Wizards
adventure
of the Coast
modules.
is Jesus.
I mean,
I mean, there are 4th edition adventures that are
Some of
better
them
than the 5th edition
definitely are.
adventures.
So
I sold an adventure book a couple weeks ago. An hour after I bought it.
are you ready for a what? And you fall out of the table, fall out of the chair.
Well, I wanna
Yeah,
see
yeah.
this.
Hold on. Let me get double fisted ready here. Okay.
Oh, that sounds like a different channel.
I love pre-generated 5th edition content. And this is not a joke.
Sorry,
Would you
I
like-
had a,
would
I had
you-
a stroke
would you like
there
to-
for a second.
Would you like to know why?
I would.
Okay, I'll tell you why. Because
I'm in the Twilight Zone.
no, you're not. No, you're not.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
No, you're not.
He's
Because
about
once
to
you hear
shit
my-
on it. He's about to shit
once you
on it.
hear my once you hear my reason
It's
you are
because
going
he
to
doesn't want to put any
understand
effort.
perfectly. One,
That's me, the lazy.
there
dude.
is this corporation that is spending millions of dollars convincing people that this is what is their phrase, the quote world's greatest role-playing game, right?
Scientology?
And more to the point,
False.
here's the deal. I don't care if it's false or not, because what it is motherfuckers will be like, oh, it's the greatest role-playing game. And then they go to certain sites and they say that people are willing to run these games that this company has spent millions of dollars promoting. And I do zero preparation. And I rake in $100 a month per game, or $100 a week per game, just running shit that I can just turn my brain off and just let the game go. And
Scientology, I'm telling you.
And all I needed was a fundamental understanding of the core mechanics of the game and the ability to read. Like, done. Problem fucking solved. I don't need to think. I don't need to think. I don't need to work. I just rake in free fucking money. And then that fuels my ability to buy Modiphius games and buy Chaosium games and buy Pinnacle games. But the thing is, I get to use them to fuel the games that are worth talking about. And if you notice, I did not mention a certain corporation or a certain game system in the entire conversation right there. I love pre-canned stuff from the world's most overhyped
I just
RPG.
clipped that.
That sounds like my pro-union argument the other day.
Look, here's the deal. I am a rampant capitalist when it comes to running these games, and I can either ride the wave and make money, or I can go against the wave trying to take some kind of fucking principled stand and be broke. So I will use their marketing budget to my advantage.
I've never been
definitely have a
principled
large
myself.
marketing budget.
Why? Because we are gamers. I will wear a chicken on my hat. I'm a chicken on my head if it gives me even the slightest fucking bonus. Okay?
Hey, Fable 3 like a motherfucker coming in clutch, boy.
That's true. Yeah.
I did it for free.
Fable 3. That's an old reference. That was a great game.
Yeah, that's the other website, Kristen.
Yeah.
Now,
I get what you're saying, Matt, but what I'm saying is those modules are not great.
From the non-whoring
From a writing perspective. Yeah,
okay,
from
well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. From trying to be fair and objective, because these guys, the people that write these modules, have spent decades in this industry. Okay?
Yeah,
Chris Perkins is a fucking amazing game master. He's an amazing game designer. Mike Merle's amazing game designer. They've been doing good work. I don't discount their work. No. What I discount, but the problem is this: these adventures are written to be as generic as possible, with the understanding that you then tailor the module to your party. The problem where it fails, basically. Well, that's the thing. What these modules are these modules are unseasoned chicken. Yeah. Look, we just cooked it, or unseasoned steak. Look, we just cooked it. We put just barely enough salt and pepper on there to make it edible. We've put it out for mass consumption. It is up to you, the game master, to actually go in and put the right sauces and put the right this.
That sounds a little racist against white people there, Matt. And I don't know how I feel about that.
What I'm saying is it is as generic and bland as possible, because it's your job as game master to do fucking work. The problem is people will see. This goes back to my oldest argument with role-playing companies to begin with, which is game masters who refuse to say no because it's not in the book, or because it's in the book. Yeah. So the thing is, people who don't tailor the campaign to your party because, quote, this is the way the author wanted it. And so as a result, the book comes out bland and you have to do your own rewrites. And if you don't do that, well, then it's not anybody else's fault. It's your fault that your game sucks because you're not flavoring the game.
Right. 100%.
And you decided to use a shit system. Sorry.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. I want to expand on this.
For a minute.
Where does it say in the Dungeon Master's Guide that you have to do that, though? In the 5th edition Dungeon Master's Guide.
Where does it say that you have to flavor the game to your campaign?
Yeah, in the Dungeon Master's Guide. Where
What's
does
a
it
Dungeon
say
Master's
any?
Guide?
Where is it? Yeah. First of all, what does the Dungeon Master's Guide
Suck
say
to
about
suck,
dungeon
homie.
mastering in general?
This is merely guidelines. Wait, no, that's 7C.
Well, I will point out.
I've read exactly 3 pages
I mean,
of this book and then went,
It's
Hold on.
useless.
Do I have that
It
book?
is
Hold on, I
fucking
have that book.
useless. You know what?
Stand
I
The
will point.
craziest thing about it is 4th edition Dungeon Master's Guide, actually pretty good, and the DMG 2, actually pretty good. So they know how to write a good Dungeon Master's Guide. They just didn't.
I will point out that they have already stated for the revised DMG
Yeah.
that they are completely changing the art. Because the thing is this: running the game actually in the current 5th edition book is chapter 8. And they're like, yeah, no, we're moving that. Yes, it is.
no, it
because
is 100%.
I'm on D&D Beyond right now looking at their shit. Chapter 8 is called Running the Game. Chapter 9 is the Dungeon Master's Workshop. Chapter 1 is how to build an entire world from scratch. Maybe you should learn how to run the game before you start building your own campaign world.
I
And
don't
the
know.
thing is,
Mechanics,
to give you,
mechanics
here's the thing.
mean nothing, buddy.
This
Mechanics
world.
are
Here's the
nothing.
thing. Looking at the book.
Nice.
Here's the deal. Looking at the book, okay? The chapters are a world of your own, how to build a campaign setting. Chapter 2 is creating a multiverse. Chapter
Why
3.
the fuck would you create a
Wait,
multiverse?
wait,
in the first
he-
place?
wait, breathe. Chapter 3, creating what? No, chapter 3. Noah, you got the book open right now?
Yes, sir.
Could you read what
He
the
can't
title
read.
of chapter? Shh. Could you read the title of chapter 3, please?
You don't read good.
Creating
So good. So proud of you.
adventures.
Adventures.
So you create a campaign setting in its entirety. You can
multiverse.
create a multiverse in its entirety, and then, and only then, can
Can
you
you do
go
campaign?
kill goblins in a dungeon.
No,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not true,
it's
Matt.
crazy.
That's not true.
'Cause it-
You are missing crucial steps. You are missing how to map a wilderness and survive it. You are missing how to keep track of recurring expenses and downtime activities, and also
Which no one
collect
does anyway.
treasure
No.
and sentient magic items. Then you
Wait.
can run a game.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. No, no, no.
So first of all, like
Okay, so-
everything about that is ass backwards. Like just get the
Right?
first session in your head first. Get the characters made first, and then you can work out. Because like, to be honest,
Oh,
with
No,
you,
that's,
no, we're-
that's wrong. You are wrong,
How
Joe.
many people? How many
so
people
sorry.
run multiverses? How many
Yeah.
people design multiverses for
Wait,
their
that's in my
campaign?
head,
Most
never
people
mind.
might design worlds, but most people don't
I-
design a full multiverse.
I,
For their
I
game.
did.
No one has cocaine hamsters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
definitely.
just like, and if you do,
did
you do that
multiverse
later.
in my
Like, you can
first
do that on the fly.
campaign.
Well, the thing
Wait,
is
hold on.
this. It's
No,
it's been
wait.
no.
I went
Go.
to find my DMG and I found a book that's so much better.
Bugmeyer. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah. It is a better game. That is
over here,
Yeah.
down here. Yeah.
Uh,
Wait. I don't want to set the. I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to
So
start a flame in your heart.
we got a question in chat that
That would
nobody repeat
require
the index
me
before
having the
buying this
ability-
book.
Why would we do that?
That would require
I
me
didn't buy
having
the
the
book.
ability to read words of more than 4 letters at one
Well,
time.
Yeah.
without
the reason.
Yeah, I didn't. I
No,
didn't
but
buy
the
the book.
reason
I
they-
pirated it. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, the
I
reason.
don't-
The
Joke's on
reason.
you. I didn't pay for it.
The reason that you buy to answer the question honestly, the reason that you buy the Dungeon Master Guide is that's where the magic items are.
That's where the magic
And
happens.
it's well,
which
no,
is
it's not
also
where the
kind
magic
of
happens.
strange. But
But it's where the
It's
magic
okay.
items are. It's where because the thing is you don't want to give
But
honestly
there's better
if you-
magic items in here.
okay, but what I'm saying is you don't want to put the magic items in the player's handbook because then
because
players are
you
going to
want
start
them
trying
find
to
out.
you want them to
Yeah.
discover. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's the real reason. The
Yeah.
the other reason is because they needed something to put. If you've been with this game for 5 editions and you don't know how to run a +1 sword, that's a
Yeah.
problem. You know.
I actually had a DM that did not understand that, and he started giving people weapons with multi dice. So like at one point, one of our players who was a paladin had a 2d10 weapon in one hand and a 3d6 weapon in the other hand, and of course it
Oh.
completely wrecked the game. It's just like
I'd do
he's
it.
level 3. He's level 3.
Okay. Okay,
I
I'd
mean,
do it.
I would.
No,
I would.
I did it.
This-
My very first campaign, I handed a level 1 paladin a holy avenger,
That's
and
fine.
he
That's
was
fine. It's
wait,
+3.
no, the full fourth third edition +5 ridiculous
Oh, shit.
stupidity blade, and they carved through the first dozen adventures, no fucking problem. And then at the end of like the 11th or 12th session, I did a fade to black to another scene where this paladin, where the grave of this paladin, who, as they later find out, was an oathbreaker and had like turned to the dark gods and actually become a paladin of the god of death, was like brought back, dug himself out of the fucking ground, and wanted to go get his sword back. And he became like the major villain for
Wow.
like the bulk of the goddamn campaign because he was single-handedly directing every attack against the players until finally they could get to him. And now granted, they ended up redeeming him and other shit like that.
Gross.
But I'm sorry, sometimes the good guys win.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Because judging by my 7th sea table, everyone eventually turns into a villain.
No,
Noah.
I get
You
I
killed your wife. You killed your wife.
what?
And then ate her.
Oh,
no, it's not what I did. You-
Usually it's the other way around.
Ah, yeah.
I attempted to break a Fey
Sorry,
Queen's
that was a
magic
terrible joke.
with the ultimate power
That was a
of
terrible
death
joke.
and a
Lizzo,
necromancer's
Lizzo.
amulet. I had a plan. It was
No.
not my fault that I was
Wrong.
assaulted and then also molested in the process of trying to restore fairy wife to former hotness.
But what were
Okay.
you wearing?
I don't think that's ever been established.
As
No,
a bard,
he
you can
picks
figure that out.
I know. He picks up a necromancer's amulet. And he's like, oh, fuck this. Doesn't find out what it does and kills his wife.
Well, yeah, it's necromancy. It's gonna bring her back somehow. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I had a plan, but it's fine.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Listen, lady, you said bring the chaos. I brought the fucking chaos. Okay, don't fucking
So-
come after me.
Back to the point. I forget what the
Nope.
point is now.
That's
well,
not
we were,
wrong.
Yeah, I
we were
mean,
talking
like-
about
Homebrews versus
pre-gen. We were talking about
Pre-gen,
pre-gen versus homebrew and the
Yeah,
difficulties. Go ahead.
I kind of like both, honestly, because even like pre-generated adventures, you just use it as a scaffolding. Like it's fun. Like
Mhm.
yeah.
I steal from every adventure I buy. Like every adventure I buy, I will steal stuff out of it. That's somebody else's brain. That's somebody who's a professional writer giving you a little bit of their brain. So it's like just at least look at it. You know what I mean? That's how I am at my job. I reference all day at my job because it's like, why would I
Well,
do
like-
all this research when somebody else already has, and I can see
On-
what their thought process was to getting to that data. So it's like
On that note, right
that's
there.
how I see. That's how I see it. Like, it's like I mean, but personally, I have to homebrew it because A, I remember homebrew better because I wrote it. You know what I mean? And B, it's more flavorful, as Matt would say, towards the table. It's been seasoned to my players, you know, completely. Like I even make them work with me to make the world. Like for this game, I'm doing Dekuma, which if you haven't heard of Dekuma, it's essentially like a background story generation thing where everyone kind of works together to sort of make like either a town or something, and then like how all their characters are connected and all that before the game even starts. So there's no like you start in a tavern, it's like you guys already know each other, and then you start it like way later. So it's like I like to start like right in the middle of the fight, like the first fight, just like right in the middle. They start then, and they just have to move from there. Because
In
first of all, they
medias
need to learn a
res?
combat mechanic. Well, yeah, because it's like they already have a background story essentially made up where they all know each other. So there's no you don't have that awkward like you know like
Hi.
you see like a bard eyeing you a lot in the corner, then the bard has to
You
say
goddamn
something.
right you do.
And then the rogue is
Or
being
is
all
that
edge
thing.
lord. The rogue is being all edge lord, and the barbarians drinking a bunch. And then you all have to find a reason to get together. Instead, it's like, well, you're already together. You're already doing stuff. You know, you just like I don't want to use the example that I'm using for the game itself, but let's just say like, you know, you're in your car, you're driving towards this destination. this happens. Something's attacking you. All right, now we're starting. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm all about starting.
For me,
information
you start with that high level of action, and then but that's
So
a
like
different.
I took for my last campaign, I wanted it to start in Baldur's Gate, right?
Yeah.
Or at least chapter 2 of the campaign I wanted to start in Baldur's Gate, right? So I used this and I bought this book and then literally used a flavor text block,
Mm-hmm.
like the beginning one to describe Baldur's Gate,
Yeah.
and then the last flavor text box at the very end of chapter 1, and then I went, and I don't need this anymore.
I will say,
And I filled in everything in between myself.
right.
Dirty.
I will say this. Brace yourself to fall out of your chair again. One of the things that fifth edition has done well is the adventures aren't just adventures, and it's part of why
there's source books.
Honestly, it's why I ended up buying them for so long until I got rid of my whole collection. Is that like, well, no, it's like Rime of the Frost Maiden. Not only is it the stupid adventure, but it's also an entire talk about Neverwinter, or not Neverwinter, but the Neverwinter and the entire all the northern environs of the Sword Coast. Whatever. Descent into Avernus talks about Elturel, talks about the entirety right there around Baldur's Gate. Candlekeep does like an in-depth discussion about Candlekeep, which is literally just a fucking library.
Big deep dive on Avernus as well.
Two book, yeah. Well, Descent into Avernus goes like it's Elturel and then Avernus. Now,
but it expands on that motherfucker,
right? And so it's like it's something similar that Legend of the Five Rings did in this most recent. Well, the thing is, it's what they did in the most recent edition, because they did the core book and then they did this gazetteer covering the entire lands of Rokugan, and then
that's so deep though. There's so much stuff.
But here's the deal. The next book wasn't a clan book. It wasn't about the Crane clan. It was about. Well, the thing is, the next book was about the political structures of Rokugan and the way that different clans interacted politically, and that's where they featured the Cranes, which are a diplomatic clan. Gotcha, and then they did a book about the Shadowlands, which detailed the entire Shadowlands, and then in that book they detailed the Crab. So like
because they manned the wall.
They deal directly with that aspect of the culture. So instead of having a region book and a clan book, they just were like
together,
this. Because if you're dealing with the Crab, you're dealing with the Shadowlands. So bam, this is all one book, and I like that, because if you're peeling back the world, I will deal with a storyline that I'm not super keen with, because I'm also getting part of the world that I want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, and first of all, shout out to Lion Clan till the day I die.
You can be wrong. It's fine.
Hey.
Love Lion Clan. Lion and Crab are like my two, like.
Dude, that's fine.
Yeah, Ride or Dies.
I like Love Line. That was a good show back
I'm talking about the card game, though. I used to play the card game for Lion Clan, and they were the most fun to play.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, one thing I will say is there is a time where I will always use a pre-generated adventure, and that is if it is where I will use a pre-generated adventure is I will use a pre-generated adventure as the very first session we play.
Yeah.
Because especially if it's an established like IP, because normally they understand the assignment, and it is generic enough that the players have wiggle room to,
and they haven't affected
to develop. And they have enough time to develop their characters. And once that's happened, I can say, okay, this was a generic save the settlement type of adventure. The players didn't really dig that. They really dug more on digging up technology. So now going forward, I'm going to start leaning more toward unearthing technology stuff, less
Yeah.
about settlement saving. I don't. We're going to skip the Preston Garvey storyline and go with the Institute storyline. We'll go
No,
with the
he's
Brotherhood
dead.
storyline. He's still alive in our
Um,
hearts.
Not
what
in
was I
my.
gonna say? Yeah, like that's totally fine. I think another good example of that would be the Star Wars
Mhm.
first adventure for the Star Wars RPG. That's pretty solid. I mean, like, I don't think you can go further from that, but like, because they haven't affected the world yet, it's really easy to run that
Yeah.
first session as a pre-gen.
Yep.
But because they just they haven't made a story yet, they haven't affected the world. Once they affect the world, you kind of want to you want to have more flexibility because the first ones are always more railroady. So that's fine. It's kind of what you want because you want them just to get all the
Choo-choo.
mechanics. You kind of want to just get all the mechanics, make some decisions. You're always like, especially if you have like new players,
Mhm.
like it's their very first session, and you just need to have that shit planned out. Like, okay, this is
Gross,
how you
new
do all
Wait,
players.
you're
this
supposed to
stuff.
plan?
I mean,
Look-
yes, I would say yes for the first session if you have new players.
Oh.
Especially if it's a new system, just like, highlight all the big things in the first session. So they get the idea of what they're playing. Is my perspective of it. And after that, maybe I write first sessions, but I still like, once again, I look at other games, I look at what their first session games are, their first session scenarios are, and I just take what I want from all of them. Because, like, I'll just use my campaign that I'm doing right now as an example. They have a written campaign, but in Savage Rifts, they have this thing called a Tomorrow Legion. And most old school Rifts players fucking hate the Tomorrow Legion because it's dumb. Because the whole point about Rifts is everything is nuanced. There isn't any faction that's perfectly good and perfectly bad. There's one that's close to being perfectly good. There's a lot that are really close to being perfectly bad, but they're all kind of in a gray area. That's all the whole point of Rifts is everyone's in this gray area because post-apocalypse you're trying to survive, and so to have the Tomorrow Legion come in, they're all just goody two shoes. Then you expect all your players to be goody two shoes in a world where no one else is a goody two shoe. It just kind of just didn't work. So I have to gut that out. But and that's kind of where I came up with this idea to talk about homebrews because, like, well, I'm doing a homebrew right now because all of their adventures are based around the Tomorrow Legion. So I immediately have to gut out a lot of the stuff because of the whole adventuring paradigm for this game is something that I just don't like. So I mean, I have to homebrew it.
Yeah, who the fuck wants to hang out with a bunch of paladins?
Gross.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's just like
Adjectory
like,
my ass.
I don't mind having a paladin.
I mean,
Other channel,
since you
Kristen,
insisted.
Other channel.
I mean, I just feel like it's healthy to have that mix for one thing, like having different levels of goody two shoes and not so goody two shoes makes for fun role play. You got to keep it spicy, and the more they're role playing with each other, the more stuff you get to steal from them. Remember, every time a player speaks, they're just giving you stuff to steal. They're giving you leverage, and you use that leverage to fuck them over in a fun way. Like that's just
Wrong
how it
channel,
works.
Joe.
Is that?
It's the wrong channel.
What do you mean? I'm talking about. Oh,
I know,
just
I know, but-
realized, yeah.
But
Uh,
letting you guys
uh,
letting you guys talk amongst yourselves is my favorite thing to do. I'm like, y'all have a conversation. Let me figure this out.
Yeah,
Real fast.
yeah. And they usually just go off on their own, so you just kind of sit there. It's like, oh yeah, that is a good idea. Like, oh, this guy's the bad guy, isn't he? It's like, well, he wasn't, but now
He
maybe
wasn't, but he is
bad
now.
guy, maybe question mark. Because you just let them start saying shit. And also, like, sometimes they get so
Yeah, Kristen,
lost
how much trouble
that you-
am I in this week?
Sometimes they get so lost that, like, them starting to talk to themselves, you could redirect the adventure by the the whole 3 clue rule is very important, but sometimes your players just don't even get all the clues you put in front of them, even if you're just like, okay, you find this thing, it is in your
Really,
hand.
I
It's like they
I
just don't get
hadn't
it.
noticed ever.
Yeah, so it's like
I don't know
sometimes
who
like
you're
them
talking about.
talking, and because they'll converse about where they think the story is going, and then you can just hear that and be like, okay, well they're way off, and then you can formulate how to get them back towards the
Nope,
actual
no,
story.
They go to a settlement that they didn't need to go to, that doesn't exist, and they kill people.
Kristen,
That's what they do.
it was on the way. It was literally a straight line to there. I don't know why we wouldn't. Like it was a straight line to there. I will die on this hill. Like you can look at the map. It is right. Like it is a straight line.
Yo, he used my government name. Like he was like Kristen.
Like that's all I'm saying. Like I will die on this hill. We were in
Oh,
the
I
right
love it.
spot. We were in the right spot. It was literally on the
fuck.
way. Also, the Red Rocket is super close. So like why wouldn't we go to the Red Rocket? Because you literally do that in the game.
You were supposed to go there. You were not supposed to go to the whatever the fuck it's called.
Oh yeah, that farm. But like it was a straight line. We would pass through it if we went to the straight line. So
When have y'all ever in the last 2 years gone in a straight fucking line? Never.
we went in a straight fucking line to that Premade and we blew that shit up.
It's true, you did. You did.
Gang,
But
gang.
it does have
Straight
a flare
line. We
base,
got
so
those
it's okay.
fusion cores and we flew straight into that. And then
It has a
Marty
flare base.
died. Shout out to Marty.
Oh, I saw a flare-based TikTok today.
R.I.P. Marty.
Yeah, so I mean, I just feel like even if you have a written adventure, just like be prepared just to throw out a lot of it, or most of it, or maybe you have to throw it out completely if the players just don't like it. Because I mean, I've played through pre-created adventures that I just did not like. I played in multiple 5th edition campaigns that were pre-written adventures, and I didn't enjoy I enjoy the game masters, you know what I mean, but I didn't enjoy the adventures themselves because they just weren't that interesting.
I think that's the other
Waterdeep.
Well, I think that's the other problem is you have to have there has to be a certain amount of buy-in from the
Yeah.
players that
Yeah.
if you're gonna run like the thing is this. So in the last time I ran a massive immersive campaign world, I decided to we ran Tyranny of Dragons, or immersive D&D campaign. We ran Tyranny of Dragons, and about halfway through the first act, I mentioned that people have started talking about the fact that the city of Elturel doesn't exist anymore. It was destroyed. There was fire everywhere. It's a giant smoking crater now because I was including the introductory scene of Descent into Avernus while there, because there's a larger world happening. It's not like if you're doing it right, if you're trying to tell an immersive story, you're not just going to be like, this happens. This is the only crisis that's happening right now. And then this happens, and it's the only crisis that's happening right now.
I think to illustrate that further, just before you go, I just wanted to say, if you want to know more about that, look at Powered by the Apocalypse, this thing called Fronts. Or not Powered, Dungeon World. Dungeon World has a good write-up on Fronts in that book about that's kind of the same idea where you actually write out what all the factions are doing, and how the world is being affected, even if the players aren't into that. Aren't dealing with that yet.
Right. Well, what else, or where that became relevant, and why I'm saying you kind of have to, everybody has to buy into this idea, is that the group heard that Elturel was wiped off the map, and they wanted to quit following the Cult of the Dragon to go and divert to Elturel to see if they could help. And I was like, you know what, guys, that's a really cool idea, but I can tell you, but I will tell you right now, the shit you will find in Elturel is shit you can't just turn your back to. You can't turn your eyes away from it. It's outside of the scope of the story. I'm just letting you know that it's happening. Blah. And then I was like, I'm also planning on running a Descent into Avernus game that will take place that's tied in. But for the purposes of this story that we're telling here, you need to be aware, you need to know that Elturel happened, but you need to keep moving. You know what I'm saying? You need to avoid Elturel because that changes what we're playing. And I think
that kind of communication is very important. Like, you gotta sometimes put the blinders on to say, hey, like this is just for flavor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But here's the deal. To be honest, that was a decision that I made because this was a paid advertised table. We are running Tyranny of Dragons. Bam. We're running Tyranny of Dragons. If this were a home game that I was running and they decided to divert and fuck off to Elturel, then I would have just gone that way.
They'll kill people.
What?
They'll kill people. You let them go rogue, they kill people.
No.
Nobody ever
And
does
adopt
that.
mole rats.
Well,
Nobody has ever adopted a mole rat.
Too.
at any rate.
Definitely too.
But I think that the thing is though about when doing a homebrew world, you have a lot, like you said before, you wrote it, so you have a lot more
Flexibility.
understanding of what happened. With a pre-generated world, you really need to edit and season.
Yeah.
But it takes
And
it
it
takes
kinda-
effort and it takes time.
It
Okay,
takes
right.
about the same amount of time I find to season a written adventure versus just homebrewing a lot of times, because homebrewing kind of builds upon itself too. You don't need to have everything about your world in set in stone at the first session. In
Wait,
fact,
do you mean you
probably
don't
should.
have to have an entire campaign setting and a multiverse before you run your first adventure?
That's what I'm saying. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I
okay.
know. It's
Dude, I've been doing this
controversial.
backwards like a
It's
motherfucker.
controversial, but I mean, like, because you want to tailor it to the players. Because if there's things that the players just don't give a shit about, you don't have to expand on that any further because they don't give a shit about that thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna put in like hours and hours of extra work unless it's a front. Like I was saying earlier, if it's a front, it's like if it's a major thing that's going to be happen no matter what, then yeah, the world's going to be changed by this idea. But they still don't need to give a shit about it. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, they'll just deal with the fallout of whatever happens with that thing.
Right.
So
Right.
like for me, it's just like homebrew. Once again, I remember it better. I don't have to look at my notes all the time. Like most of my notes in Notion are just stat blocks. Because like that's mostly what I need is just like a quick and easy referenceable stat block. Because most games, for some odd reason, don't have referenceable stat blocks, which also annoys the hell out of me. But you know, that's yeah. I mean, like it's just easier. But I will say, if I do, like, I would run the old school essentials adventures because they're just so easy. Like, they're just a dungeon, and they're 2-page spreads for each room of the dungeon. Like, it's just so easy. Like, if you can run those like without any prep at all, you can just open the book and run that, and it's fine. So, I mean, the old school essentials ones I would totally run, no problem at all.
I mean, you can do that with the current essentials too.
No.
Yeah, you can. I've seen it happen firsthand. I've seen it happen. Zero
I've
prep.
seen people try it, and
and run.
it's horribly. I would not recommend you try to run a 5th edition campaign book on the fly. Like that just sounds like
No,
I'm
saying the current iterations of the starter set and essentials kit. Like hey, welcome to fucking Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
Yeah, because that's hand-holdy. Yeah, that's hand-holdy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I homebrew all my shit
Yeah.
just because I'm a fucking glutton for punishment.
I also think it's just more fun when you homebrew because it's like it's yours. Like, you know, if you're gonna flavor it, like if you're making a gumbo, you should make your gumbo. You should just make a gumbo. You should not be googling a gumbo recipe.
No,
you know what I mean?
no.
Listen, you said gumbo way too many times for me and Matt to not be food erect at the moment.
Hell with you. You're supposed to make your mama's gumbo.
That's right.
Exactly.
And don't you dare ask what's in it because you don't want to know.
Here, I'll clip that.
Listen, nutria is still considered seafood gumbo, motherfucker.
But like, I mean, like, it's just like you. But that's what I'm saying though. It's like you're making your thing. It's like it's not like you are going to be more interested in it if you're actually working on it. Now you also have to take into account that
even the smallest fucking amount of creativity inside your brain and body, you are going to fucking intrigue your players a billion times more than just running a fucking pre-built adventure.
And you're going to have to do it anyway. You're going to have to homebrew on the fly no matter what you do. Because they're going to be like,
even
what is
running
this
a
town?
fucking
It's like,
adventure.
oh, crap. Yeah. So it's like...
And you're going to have to make some shit up.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's the whole game is making shit up. That's the whole point of this is to make shit up. So it's fine.
Like in the fucking in the starter kit, where you know it's like, oh, and you come into a fucking forest and there's birds in the air and there's deer in the fucking woods, and somebody goes, I have animal handling and speak with animals, and you go, fuck.
Now I gotta play a rabbit. Now I have to play a rabbit, right? It's like, okay, you see a rabbit running across it, like, okay, like, hey, rabbit. Then you just give them clues. Just give them clues when that happens, though. Anytime
Yeah,
you give a player a clue to like get them right, like focused on something that's the most interesting, just just give them a clue and then it's fine. Like, you can't give them enough clues because they're idiots. So like, it's like, because we're all idiots when it comes to shit like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
humans
let
are
us
really
clarify.
oblivious
We are
when it comes to clues.
all fucking morons
It's
at
all the
the
same.
table.
Yeah, it's all the same. Because first of all, we're only half listening because half your table
Right.
probably has ADHD if they're playing D&D in the first place. You know what I mean? Let's just be real. Let's be real. This is perfect for neurodivergent people. Like, this is like, we love this world. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think the other thing I was going to say was be prepared for players to not give a shit about your world, though. They're not going to give a shit
Yeah.
about it as much as you do. And, like, don't expect them to remember all the lore and all of that, because they're not going to, because it's not their world. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to latch onto what they're interested in, and everything else, they're probably going to forget it.
It's like-
'Cause especially if you're playing every 2 weeks, once a month, they're not going to remember all that shit. They're adults.
No,
At least
when
we're
I-
at our tables.
when I started my big fucking
Yeah.
grandiose extravagant campaign, I started them out in a homebrewed place that I just fucking made up from
Mhm.
ground zero, right? They got done with that, and I needed some kind of filler to get them from where they were to where I really wanted them to go, but I didn't have a
Yeah.
fucking reason, so I was like, we're gonna stick them in Baldur's Gate,
Yeah.
right? So they went from the fucking the big bad's fucking stronghold where they broke out, found their way to fucking Baldur's Gate. They loved the stronghold. They had fun in Baldur's Gate for 4 more sessions than they were fucking supposed to.
That's fine, though.
And
if you're having
then
fun.
we get to the next place where I have fucking built from scratch. Spent 4 weeks,
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
countless hours, like literal hundreds
Yeah.
of fucking hours going
And
into
they
great
probably
detail.
didn't give a shit.
And they were like,
They-
but can we get back to Baldur's Gate? And I was like, you sons of fucking bitches.
but that's what I'm saying is
You
doing
cunty
all that
fucks.
work ahead of time is sort of like, do it only if you love it. Like, if you're having fun doing that, for sure do
Right.
it. But like, everything that like they're not going to give a shit about 90% of the stuff you throw into their face, just because like
Right.
they usually already have a motive in mind of what they want to do. You know what I mean? Like, and they are like, if they're in Baldur's Gate for 4 sessions, they they already have a lot of investment in that place. They've already done a lot of fuckery there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like they want to go
Now,
back.
I
and
will
get,
say-
see what happens.
I will say, by the time they found a coked out space hamster and a beholder who had a, see, for Twitch terms of service reasons, we're just going to say an orifice for an eye stalk. Then all of a sudden they were like ready to be like,
Yeah.
okay, we fucks with the multiverse now. And so and I have found that, while, like you said, they get used to a place and they have fun, and then you take them to a new
Yeah.
place and they haven't explored, they haven't deep dived, they haven't done anything, and they're
Yeah.
like, but what about the old place? So you're gonna have
Yeah.
to fucking use your big boy brain and
Yeah,
give them a
yeah.
reason to give a shit. And I've had to do it
Yeah.
now in 4 different fucking planes, and it might take a session or two, and then all of a sudden once they're there and
Yeah.
and you
Once they get the
give
hook,
them the
once they get the
bullshit,
hook.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, once they hit the hook, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I fuck with this. Let's go. We
Yeah.
can rock and roll about this. So
I think. Sorry.
I mean, don't get fucking freaked out if they don't all start stroking your fucking shit.
Honestly,
Session 1.
to be perfect, that's the most fun I have is when it's like, okay, we're completely off the rails. Now I actually had to think on the spot. That's when it's actually the most fun. Like,
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
love that
feel
part.
like it sometimes. Like, sometimes you're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. But then you realize, like, this is really the best part about being a GM is that I'm creating a world on the fly. That I get the opportunity to do this.
Like, and also,
Good.
when you're in those moments and you're having trouble, as a GM, your best friends are not fucking players at the table. They are other GMs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
I
like,
mean, or just time,
Which
or
are
sometimes just
players at my
need
table.
time. Like so,
yeah,
like okay, so one thing I
use
used to
your
do,
GM friends though, but like
Yeah.
ask him, be like, hey, I'm here,
yeah,
I'm stuck. I'm
Yeah.
like I've hit writer's block. I don't know what to fucking do. And then they'll give you they'll just say a word and it might not even
Yeah.
be what they were talking about, but they'll trigger something in your fucking brain and you go, got it.
yeah. And,
Well, I
you know,
can't tell you
sometimes
all-
you just need time. Like what I do is if I know I'm about to get stuck soon, I order a pizza because I'm 20 minutes away from the pizza place, right? So I know I just gotta bullshit for the next 20 minutes, and then we get a break. We get the food break. So it's
Right.
like once I get the food break, I can think or I can message somebody, you know, anything. And so like sometimes you just need that to take the break, take the time. And just, so that's what food is for. Half of D&D is about, you know, eating the food with your
Right.
friends too. So it's like, you know,
Well, I can't tell you how
Right.
many nights I've sat on video chat or phone or text or whatever with Matt
yeah,
and be like, all right, walk me through this. Here's what I'm thinking. Can you please help me walk this out? Or hey,
Yeah.
can you create a character because I'm about to get a total party wipeout if we're not careful.
yeah. But you know, a lot of people don't have other GM friends. If you're in a small town, you might just be the only person running games, and then you
Listen,
get talk to
folks,
people.
And
Listen,
that is
you're
when you
watching
message Degenerates with Dice on
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah. Please,
Right.
And you join the
We
Discord.
are desperate. Yeah, we are
Oh, yeah.
desperate for people.
Also,
And
we
Uh,
are
almost all of us are
in the
GMs.
process of getting a
Yeah.
Discord. We're
We have a
But-
Discord.
we do have a Discord. That's right. I forget.
I will make
no,
you
what
an
I was gonna
admin
say
so
is-
you can do what you do with it.
is you're watching this on the fucking internet, so I'm going to assume you know what places like Facebook community groups and Reddit
Yeah.
are. And this nifty little thing that nobody's actually heard about, and I'm gonna blow your mind, Google. You should try that.
What?
But like
Yeah.
all three of those things have saved my fucking ass countless fucking times.
No.
Oh, we
You
know-
know how
yeah,
many
yeah.
watch lists I'm on because of you fuckers?
Yeah. Like we know
Oh,
the
that's your own
exact
fault.
aerodynamics of a frog now. You know, and, yeah.
We know how to force feed
Yeah.
a quadriplegic now.
Yeah.
Something.
Was it 42 cans of pork and beans?
40 cans of pork and
Yeah,
beans.
40 cans. That's what it was.
I mean, you can regrow limbs if you get enough pork and beans. It's Fallout. I'm sorry, that's just
Well,
how it works in that
Hold
game.
on. My other table, we learned that ducks can't get AIDS. So
Oh, wow.
there's that.
I didn't know that, but hey, yeah, you learn something new every day. See, this is
Now you
this is
know.
an informational podcast, everybody. Like this
Right,
is an informational
educational.
podcast.
Educational.
Yeah, this is we're up there with like reading Rainbow and stuff. Like we're here for you.
Next
The
week
more
we're
you
talking
know.
about anatomy.
Yeah.
Oh God. We're all gonna
Just
go
do
to
it
jail.
cute.
do
We're
We're all
we
going to
ask
jail.
Lizzo? Are we having Lizzo guest star on that one?
Oh God!
Is it bananas? This shit's bananas. BANANAS.
Yes.
How dare you disgrace the name of Gwen Stefani of the ultimate fucking
Yeah.
group, no doubt,
Yeah.
with
yeah.
even mentioning her incredible songwriting talents next to fucking Bluzo.
My Lord and Savior
Lizzo is
Cardi
actually
B
quite
said I could.
talented. I don't.
How dare
Lizzo is
you.
actually quite talented, actually.
She is
I mean,
talented.
she's a
Yes, her
she's a
songwriters
classical
are very
flautist.
talented.
She's
Yes,
she's a
Lizzo's
classical
songwriters
flautist.
are very talented.
She's incredible at playing the flute. And apparently, she
At
likes
band
she also likes
camp? Oh wait.
other people playing banana flutes. Yeah, so I was trying to get there, but yeah, I mean, like she
He's
actually
trying to
is
make a
a
dick joke
great
without making a dick
flautist.
joke, and he get it.
She actually is a good flautist though, but that doesn't mean
She's a
she's a good
flautist.
person. But I would say that if you look at the entertainment
I'm an
industry,
autist.
none of them are good people. Like if you crave that much fame and that much power, you're probably not a good person. I'm just throwing
None
that
of
out
us
there,
are good
like,
people,
any-
Joe.
Yeah,
I'm
we're not
totally
good people,
a good
but
person.
I'm not
totally a good
forcing
person.
somebody to eat stuff out of somebody else's body. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like it's not.
Right,
least
I
We
not
just
told
paid
you
without
to
it
watch
consent.
it.
last week.
At least not without
we
their
did-
consent.
I just paid to watch it in Tijuana. That's the difference.
I've seen it on Clerks
you know
too.
what I mean.
What the
Yeah, you know what I mean though. It's like just
Didn't we
they're
cover
not good
Baldur's
people.
Gate 2 weeks ago?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we covered it twice. I think.
VODs are a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So Baldur's Gate. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, we're all for it. It's all
Yeah,
good.
We had like a 2-hour discussion about Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, twice I think. Now, yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah, it's good,
it's
but you
fucking-
know,
it's good.
you can catch up on all of our old episodes on YouTube. If you go to Degenerates with Dice on YouTube, we have episodes and we have shorts now. So we have shorts
Oh shit.
of
Eat my
Noah.
shorts?
Yeah, Noah can no longer be president, people, because we have a lot of clips.
There's not a me in
Can
there,
I
right?
though?
Actually, yeah, I mean, yeah, with Trump, yeah, Trump's done way worse. I mean, like, yeah, never mind,
I
never
mean, you
mind. Like,
name me a president in the last 70 years that ain't done
This
some
is
shit
not a
worse than
political
I've done. I'm
podcast.
just saying. I'm just saying. Name me one.
Oh no, I mean like just they just didn't have it on video. They just don't have it on video. I mean that's the thing because for a lot of those presidents, video really wasn't a thing. They didn't have cell phones.
Wait, are you
so,
telling me that video I watched of Marilyn Monroe and Uncle Jack was an AI generated video?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. But anything with Bill Clinton probably isn't. So at least you have that going for you.
Cigar? What? Question
How
mark?
dare you diss the presidential king of the bard, Slick Willie? How dare you, sir?
Just call him hold.
Have you not seen that man play sexual saxophone? That is Slick fucking Willie. Bro, tell me Clinton was not the fucking bard president. Sunglasses,
Oh, he 100%
saxophone,
was.
Oh,
fucking
100%.
interns.
I mean,
I'm just
I would
saying.
say Teddy Roosevelt was also a bard president though, but in a different
Agreed.
way. Like Teddy Roosevelt was definitely bardish.
I mean, yeah.
We never had a paladin. I mean, never had a
Well,
paladin.
no, 'cause
you
I-
could say
I
you could
haven't-
say FDR. You could say FDR, but I would say we've never had a paladin.
What was JFK?
Oh, new follower. Oh, thanks,
What
dude.
was JFK? Ooh, this is a
JFK,
fun
ooh.
game. I think we should table this topic and then come back.
Table
for
topic?
next week?
Okay.
Yeah, see what I did there? That was a joke on tabletop. But we should
You're not that smart. That was an accident.
totally decide what fucking classes the presidents played. That could be a fun fucking exercise.
Dude, why haven't you followed me? We should do
fuck
that.
with that.
I can fuck with that.
Jimmy
Yeah,
Carter was
that could
obviously
be
a
fun.
rager. Obviously a
Yeah.
rager.
We're
100%.
table topping this, Joe.
See, now I'm thinking about it. I'm going to think about it for the
I
rest of
know.
the podcast now.
I know, but this is what Discord is for.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Wait. I currently have Discord on my second screen over here.
The link is
Oh,
in
we've lost
our
Noah.
about. So,
I
Kristen,
don't
what are your
I'm
thoughts?
not a part
What
of
are-
our own Discord.
Kristen, what are your thoughts on?
Holy
Uh,
shit.
I think I'm the only one
Homebrew?
on our Discord, so it's okay. Yeah, on Hombrew. 'Cause I know
I'm-
you
I'm
just pretty much
fixing it.
just do Hombrew.
Okay, wait. I have a question though. Is it considered homebrew if I take the basics of another mechanic and then just change little parts, or is that just called making my own recipe?
No, that's all. Everything. Anytime you change anything from the main thing, you're doing Homebrew.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Which is
I
which I argue that everyone homebrews to a certain degree
Yeah.
if you're running a game.
Well,
Listen,
in that-
technically,
in that
if you
vein-
change the green trees to fucking dead brown trees, you have homebrewed some trees. Technically.
fair.
But it is a
Well, then
detail that changes the vibe.
we have homebrewed combat. Joe, how long did it take us to fix combat in Fallout? 6 months?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was it just wasn't working for our group because no one really had the books. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
there's too many
it's
pages to
clunky.
reference. There's too many pages
Yeah.
to reference because of all of the different effects of that were there. And so we just
Yeah.
simplified it a lot. And also nobody had the custom dice. And they didn't really
Right.
have just a page with all the effects and then just what the
I-
dice rolls are and everything
have
is on
dice
one
now.
page.
Proud of you.
Yeah,
I
Wait,
have.
Both
I have
of
Fallout dice.
both of my tables though, I really do homebrew a lot of things because I honestly like the rule that governs my table is the rule of cool. Where if I know
Yeah,
that my players want it, we'll figure out how to make it work.
I mean, the
And
rule of cool.
it
We should
seems
probably
to
do a
work
whole episode
okay.
on that. Yeah.
I
I
agree.
mean, I tried to do some cool shit the other day and I got fucked up for some reason, but okay, Kristen, keep lying.
Did you?
Yeah, but no,
Noah?
part of the rule of cool is you have to accept their consequences. I mean, you get to do the cool stuff, but
You did cool
getting
shit.
messed
You just
up-
got fucked.
yeah, getting messed up while doing cool stuff is part of rule of cool. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
the-
Like, you-
The second
I
effect
know,
of rule of cool is you get bitch slapped by the GM.
yeah,
is what
yeah, like
happens.
you still have consequences for your actions. Like, I'm sorry.
Like,
it's
it's just not
like-
like it's just like freedom of speech. You can say whatever the fuck
Yeah.
you want, but you're not free from the
yeah,
consequences of it.
you're not Slick Willie. You can't get away with it, bro. You're not Slick
Yeah.
Willie.
No, you are not free from getting bitch slapped by the GM because you fucked shit up.
Yeah, but you got to do the cool shit though. It's just that
Yeah.
the other part is that with cool shit comes other stuff that can also happen. So
And
With
when
cool
you anger
shit comes
God,
cool responsibilities.
right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, cool
And when
response.
you
This
anger
is
your
very
God,
important. I need you at some point to remind me this week about
What?
Slick Willie, and it's going to be a very private conversation that affects the Fallout table.
wrong channel, motherfucker. Okay,
Okay.
wait.
I do like
Wait, no,
that name. That's a
I
great
have,
name. That's a great name for an NPC or a player. Player named
I
Slick
have a
Willy would be
comment
pretty good.
because you were talking about relying on other GMs and things like that.
Yeah,
You kind of need that if you're not an experienced GM, especially when
Yeah.
your players, Joe, Noah, anyone else that's watching our podcast that plays on one of my fucking tables, start texting each other during the game.
We never do that ever. You stop lying right now.
Okay, so first of all, player scheming is always fun because you know that you're about to get fucked up as a GM, and that's always fun. I am sorry, but the players
Yes,
get that
but
little smirk on their face. That is the best
I
feeling
can
ever
tell
because
they're
you
doing it
know.
though because all you motherfuckers get
Yeah.
quiet.
Yeah,
All
but
you motherfuckers get quiet.
that's the best part. That's the best part. Like you want that as a
I'm
GM.
a
That's
mom.
because like now they're like really having fun. They're really
Yes,
having
I
fun
love
if
it.
they're plotting.
Do not think for a second that I don't love every bit of it because I fucking
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
But I'm a mom and I know that silence from your children
bad.
is a dangerous,
It's bad.
dangerous thing.
Yeah.
But here's the
Oh, there
thing
was
though.
fuckery about.
It's the reason that I had so much doing that with all of your players when I do is because you always have the same fucking reaction. And it's like the only
Yeah.
reaction you could have, but it's always, especially like when me and Joe do it, it's always, now what, Joe, what the fuck are you two talking about over there?
Hmm?
The lady
nothing.
gets shot in the foot. The lady gets shot in the foot. It happens. It happens.
I don't know what
Like,
you're
Joe.
talking about.
Hold on.
an NPC
What Noah
that we
did-
were not supposed to interface with all gets shot, but that's okay.
Yes, that's people die and you get mole rats. But no, last week's table or table before last on my Fallout table or no, my 7C table, I
7C.
ended the table 30 minutes early because I couldn't fucking deal with these fuckers.
Yeah, I've been there.
I stopped the
been
table
there.
30 minutes early.
No.
there.
Time out. I want to say this. In my defense,
Oh no.
that
There's
is
none.
not the fucking plan that I had.
Oh,
My
okay, I
plan-
just realized that.
Listen, but here's, in Kristen's
Oh,
defense,
it's still.
Noah's player plan got hijacked. So you can only imagine the chaos that Kristen's GM plan was from that moment on. Because I tried to do some things and then some other things happened that I may have inadvertently set in motion, but that totally wasn't the fucking outcome I had envisioned.
Like, I
want to say
actually-
sorry to Princess Frosty. I just realized that we still had the Baldur's Gate title on our
Oh yeah.
Twitch title, so I'll change that after for the mod. But sorry about that.
But also,
no.
and once
For
again,
the first time
when
ever
I
in 2
noticed
years,
somebody's slightly uncomfortable at the situation, I tried to stop it and it kept going. And I tried to stop it multiple times.
it did not stop. It was so bad, y'all. And at one point, no, for the first time in the 2.5 years that I've been running games, I said I fucking can't. We're done. We are stopping here. There was no cliffhanger. There was fucking nothing. It was, I'm done. We're done. We're stopped.
Mhm. Yeah, no, it was great. It's great. But hey, I'm my character's part of the crew officially now, so you know, there's that.
Whew. There was many war crimes that happened.
No, those were just crimes. That's they were just crimes. Straight up felonious fucking behavior happened.
You
It's
got
only
a
a crime if you
felony.
get caught. It's only a crime if you get caught.
Oh, we definitely got caught. That's what I'm saying. There was just felonies across the board, bro.
There were dead bodies in the cemetery and just a lot.
There was almost necrophilia. I mean,
Oof, oof. Yeah, that's making me uncomfortable. I'd tap
and
out
it was
after that, no.
inadvertent.
No,
I mean,
it
that's
wasn't
how
even
bad it
blatant.
was.
Like it was just
Yeah. It was just a series of failed dice rolls that kept getting more and more degenerate.
Obscene? It's degenerate.
Yeah, it was straight up be obscene, be obscene. But like every time I tried to roll out of it, it just didn't fucking happen. And my
Hey, you remember
GM was
that?
like, "Well, you failed, and so you have to fail. So something has to happen." And I was like, "Well, fuck."
No, do you remember that Vertibird scene where he got all those badass dice rolls?
Mhm.
Yeah.
He definitely paid for it.
Yeah, it caught up, 100%.
Oh well, life is
Except
about
for the
balance.
one time. Except for the one time, because I believe Zoe had to make what 5 successes
Uh-huh.
on a contested roll against me, and I could only
Uh-huh.
roll one time. And
Uh-huh.
I was praying to the dice gods. I was like, "Please be a 1. Please be a 1. Please be a 1." And I rolled a fucking 1, and then Kristen basically had to just go, "Zoe Otto succeeds."
I was hoping for some sort of just saving, but there was none. There was none.
No, there's none.
Like,
The
and it
guy-
wasn't
the
even to the
dice
point where I
gods
could
won't
fudge
save you.
rolls. I couldn't even fudge rolls on my side to save any of
Yeah,
those.
yeah, because the
Mhm.
number was already out there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The dice
it was-
gods are not always kind to you as a GM. Usually it's not.
Whew. That they weren't kind to anybody that day.
No, not anyone.
And that's also why I hate D20 games, because I never roll above a 10 ever on a D20. So it's like most of the time I'm doing nothing. You know what I mean? Because it's like I can't roll above a 10. Like, you know how long I've been playing these games? The dice god, I've
But, like-
used up all my points with the dice gods. Like, it's not happening. I get a nat
here's the
20
thi-
like once a year.
Here's the thing on shit rolls, because I've encountered this a lot, right? Like, if you fuck up, well, if the dice just aren't in your fucking favor, as long as you can, like, just, for lack of a better term, take it on the fucking chin and
Yeah,
roll
yeah,
with
that's
it,
what- yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know,
I fail forward at any occasion that I can. I always fail forward.
Nope.
I prefer critical failures because I
yeah.
want to fail forward.
exactly. Accept your fate, fucking find some dumb shit to say in response about, you
Yeah.
know, exactly how you have failed, and just make the rest of the table have a memorable fucking moment.
Yeah, and
Oh,
most
yeah.
time, like the failures are what people remember most. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
and
a lot
that's
of
why
times
I
the
love
failures are.
you playing,
Like it-
Joe. That's why I love your character, because you're always like, "Fuck yeah, my arm fell off. That's cool."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
At the
I use it
Fallout
as a
table, how
compliment.
many times have I been covered in shit?
Yeah,
All of them.
multiples.
To
yeah,
where, like,
yeah.
that's basically, like, worked into my backstory is what I'm known for, is being covered in shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I mean, hey, not how I wanted this to fucking happen, but we're gonna make it fucking happen.
Here we are.
I don't think
But-
Maddie's ever been covered in shit. I think she has the exact
Nope.
opposite, where she's never been
She
covered in
did.
shit.
She did kill a child though. So
Yeah, oh yeah,
No, she
absolutely.
almost killed a child. Technically, I killed that child.
Yeah, he put the kid on. Yeah, actually, that's even worse. 'Cause she
That was
she
my
paralyzed
introduction to the
child.
table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She paralyzed the child.
but it did save us
I
from
had the
finding
great
three kids
idea.
of orchid beans.
But that was a great idea. I'm
It
just
was,
saying,
it was.
in Fallout logic, you can regrow limbs. You can regrow your head if you have enough poor kid beats. It's just the way it works. It's a
Which
magical
is why I'm
system.
on several watch lists.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, unless they play Fallout, they're just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I guarantee you, the NSA people, they play Fallout. I guarantee you.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, they're
I
probably
hope
just like,
not.
oh, they're playing Fallout. That's all that is.
Oh, those are the fuckers that are crashing the Bethesda servers. Fucking assholes.
No, that's Bethesda. Bethesda crashes.
That's Bethesda.
That's Bethesda.
Todd Howard himself put his dick in the fucking modem, and that was it.
How dare you talk about Daddy Todd like that?
I'm gonna shit in this coffee cup.
I will
We
say, I'll
might-
say that
we-
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say shout out to Todd though for this making Andrew WK Red Eye, great decision.
Are we going to
Great
talk
decision.
about that Monday, or are we going to give that a couple weeks that I feel that we need to give it before we talk about that?
What Red Eye
What?
or
Starfield.
Let's give it a
Starfield.
couple weeks. Let's give it
Okay.
a week or so.
Next
Are we
week
going to give
we
it?
have to talk about presidents.
Are we going to give it the Baldur's Gate treatment? We're just going to wait like 2 or 3 weeks and then talk about it. Because I feel with a game that size, you kind of
That's
You
what
have
she
to.
said.
because
I
I
would
got
like
early
to-
access, which means I'm going to definitely wake up late on wedding rehearsal day because I'll be up the night before.
I would like to thank y'all for having had the Baldur's Gate discussion the last week and not this week.
Oh, because you want to talk about Baldur's Gate.
There are embarrassing facts about me and Baldur's Gate.
Matt and
Oh,
I had a
yeah,
Baldur's Gate
yeah.
discussion
Wash your
yesterday.
hands.
Yeah. There's a lot
No.
going on in that game. There's a
No,
lot
no,
going on.
that's not
No.
the embarrassing. Hey, Noah, did you? Okay, so really quickly,
Hmm.
this is the list of all of the current playthroughs I have right now in Baldur's Gate.
Yep.
For those playing at home, that is 14 separate playthroughs happening concurrently as I move through the content, because I didn't want to like I want to see all the options, but I don't want to save scum, and I want to play as different classes, and I can't ever make a decision because I am an alcoholic. So
Even with
Well,
14 playthroughs, though, you won't see everything, unfortunately.
Yeah, as
You
somebody who
bet
has
your
one
ass.
playthrough to completion, I only have 1,799 playthroughs to go to maybe see everything. Because there's something like, didn't they say there's like 18,000 variations on
Yeah.
dialogue? Yeah.
Yeah, it's so massive. It's
That's
such
fine.
a massive game.
I'm
Yeah,
good with that
I think
because
you're
it's good.
muted,
It's worth your
Kristen.
money. Worth your money.
I'm good. I'm good with that because
You're
Larian
still
is
muted.
not
You're still
going
muted.
to.
Kristen was muted. What were you
I was-
saying?
I said double that because your ADHD ass is gonna miss some shit.
Because Larian.
You just can't go one episode, can you?
No. No, because I also know like the reason I'm not in a hurry on Baldur's Gate is the same reason I'm not in a hurry with Diablo 4. Like it's gonna be more than a decade before their next title anyway.
Yeah.
I've got time. Like
Yeah.
I don't
There's
really
plenty of
need to
options.
rush through. Yeah, because Starfield doesn't interest me. So
But like, here's the thing: like, I
Yeah,
don't have to
yeah,
pay
that's kinda it.
$20 to look cool in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I think, I mean, like I said last week, the week before, it's just an all-around good game. It's kind of the standard for games now. Bethesda, we're looking at you.
now the sad part is it
Yeah.
is not going. No, I hate to tell you
No,
this.
like they're
It's-
not going.
it's not gonna-
Yeah.
It's
They're
not
not
going
gonna
to be the
close.
standard in games. It's
No.
not going to be the standard in games.
I mean, it's gonna
And
be the standard
reason-
we're gonna hold them to, but like they're never
No,
gonna
it's
reach
not.
that.
No, it's not. Because here's what's going to happen. Like, think about it. Hogwarts Legacy was supposed to be this like milestone mountaintop experience, and then like how long before the next big game hit, and then how long before the next big game hit, and now that everybody's like, oh my god, Baldur's Gate 3, it's gonna it single-handedly is already game of the year. Just crown it, kid. Wait, Starfield? What? Huh? And then people are off like fucking rabbits again until the thing is, people, I guarantee you, I'm calling it now. People are gonna shit themselves over Starfield, and then the next game is gonna come out, and they are gonna forget all about it, and
Well,
they're
see,
gonna move
I
on to the
would-
next game. And then
I would
because
I
the
would
thing is
argue
this.
with you on Starfield because it is a Bethesda game and it's not going to fucking run at launch and it's going to hold it back.
But the thing is this, and no, even if here's the deal, even if it landed fucking perfectly on arrival, okay, the next thing is because the problem is this: most people's gaming experience now is governed by influencers, and influencers will not make money off of Starfield, off of continuing to play Starfield when they move on to the next thing, and it becomes the hype train. IGN hypes it. People stop giving as much of a shit, and then the next game and the next game, and I guarantee you, 3 games from now, there will not be a Baldur's Gate 3 discussion. They'll have moved on. And that is the problem. Instead of taking the time to put out a really fucking good game, then people are going to bounce back and forth, and it does not make financial sense to make a long form quality game when you can continue to crank out vaporware.
Yeah.
Unless you're Nintendo.
Well, Nintendo is different because Nintendo, the problem is this: Nintendo only has to appeal to one fucking audience, Nintendo players.
Yeah, Nintendo. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying they have to appeal to Nintendo players because
Starfield has to appeal to
Nintendo.
everyone.
Yeah, well, the other thing is this: Nintendo is not trying to cross-platform any of its fucking games.
No.
So it only has to cater to its crowd. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, like, let's take the game that I have been waiting on for a very long time, Fable, the next Fable game.
Yeah.
it is going to be it's Xbox exclusive, but it's also going to be on PC, and
Which is
eventually
where
it's
you
going to
should
find
play
its
it.
way to, and eventually it's going to
It'll
find its
eventually,
way to
yeah.
Steam, and eventually it's
Yeah.
going to, eventually they're going to cross-platform it over to some, to Steam Deck and
To
blah
the
blah blah
Switch
blah blah.
Pro.
But the point is,
No, I
they
mean like
are
Steam Deck was it
no,
can already,
'cause-
if it can run on Steam, it can run on Steam Deck now because
well,
Proton
the thing is
Experimental
this:
is already there.
Fable won't ever cross over to the PlayStation because it's an
Yeah.
Xbox exclusive. It's made by one
Even
of the
though it
studios.
could, because it's being made in Unreal 5, but
No,
it's
the point
Microsoft
is
pretty much.
the point is Fable is being made by a Microsoft studio,
Yeah,
so it
Yeah,
is
first party.
only. It's the same reason that Sea of Thieves is not on PlayStation.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
because it's made by an
It's made by
Xbox,
Microsoft essentially.
by a
Yeah,
Microsoft studio.
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's no. But the problem is
There's no
this:
chance,
whereas Nintendo only makes for Nintendo,
yeah.
Yeah, they don't give a
And-
shit about anything else.
and it makes
But
it so much
also-
easier.
Like, I don't know. Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, at this point, my 3 top games this year would be, in no particular order, right? But it would be Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the fucking Kingdom, and Jedi Survivor.
Oh yeah, that game came out too. Remember that game?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
I
my point.
forgot
That's my
about it.
point
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now,
That's my
also,
point exactly.
Hogwarts came out and is an incredible fucking game, right?
But I'm going to be dead honest. The only reason I
have no
remember it is
interest.
because of the scandal.
Yeah,
That's the only reason I
have no
remember it is
interest.
because of the scandal.
But like,
I
I'm
have no
such a
interest in
fucking
playing
Star
fucking
Wars
Hogwarts.
nerd that it kind of
Yeah.
jumps over Hogwarts. Now, put a fucking gun to my head, I'll tell you to take Jedi Survivor off the list and let Tears of the Kingdom and fucking Baldur's Gate duke it out. But, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
So homebrew
just-
campaigns.
yeah, we're way off. I will say that I am also not interested in Starfield. Before we move on, I am also not crazy about it. But
I accidentally
it's
bought
just-
Harry Potter Hogwarts.
oh, you
See,
did.
here's the thing though. We just perfectly proved, like, the
My
homebrew
point.
thing.
We did something perfect. Sweet.
Yeah, no, like, the fucking shit got derailed, and then
Yeah,
we had
yeah.
another adventure
Yeah.
on the fly. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, you don't have to
Good
just have fucking
conversation.
pre-canned shit.
But
Yeah.
we also don't have Jin here, so that's why we're going so far off track.
Right.
But,
Jen,
so-
save us!
Yeah, so direct all your fucking hate at Jen, okay? Not me.
No, it's just,
I'm just
don't-
kidding.
No,
Don't
because
direct
she
your
won't
hate
come
at
back.
Jen.
We need.
No,
her.
Jen's a sweetheart. We love her.
Yeah.
Hate Noah. He's fine. He doesn't have feelings.
What? Yeah, they didn't issue us those.
Mm-mm.
yeah. Yeah. So anything else about Homer you guys want to talk about?
I'm gonna
I
talk
don't know.
about
You got
president
12 minutes until
classes.
we have to shut this bad boy down.
Okay.
I want to talk about
5:30.
president
That-
classes next
That
week.
that meets our hour and a half mark.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't have to go a full hour and a half if we don't have anything else to say.
I
that's
like
true.
you guys. I'm not leaving.
What?
I don't have friends.
We know.
I don't have.
I
friends
have
either.
you.
It's okay.
I have
That's
you
because
guys.
you don't let them do cool shit with necromancy amulets.
Bitch, you did the
Asshole.
cool shit.
Hell, I'm just fucking with you. Oh,
You just didn't bring any lube.
And
and
that was your
son,
bad.
none of your friends are getting canceled for Hogwarts. And if they do, then the internet is a whole lot worse off than I thought it was.
Mm.
I never fucking liked Harry Potter. I have to admit, I never found those books interesting. But to be fair, I was already in like ADHD hyper focus on like World War One and stuff like that by the time those books came out. I was little and I was interested in war,
Wait,
so I just didn't care.
did all of us have a World War One phase
No,
as ADHD babies?
nope. Utterly uninterested in World War One.
No, mine was
Really?
Revolutionary and World War
Wow.
II.
World War One is
Mine
so
was-
interesting.
Mine,
Mine
was
was-
Egypt,
mine
I
was-
think, more so
mine
than
was
World
Civil
War
War.
One.
Oh, but we all had a war. We all had a war.
Yeah,
phase.
well, everybody gets a
Very
war.
interesting.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
That's like part of
I
fucking
mean,
Neurospicy 101.
I also did study the Revolutionary War and World War II, but like the World War One, I just find the most interesting, and will always find the most interesting because it's so stupid. Why? It
No,
happened,
you can't-
How it happened?
War?
will you
What is it good
now?
for?
Screams in trench gun.
Like literally, the war. Like Gabrielle Princip killed the what was it? Oh, fuck, I forget his name now.
Archduke.
Archduke.
The
Ferdinand.
Archduke.
Yeah, Archduke Franz
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand. He,
I
yeah,
knew something.
Archduke
Take
killed like
me
he
out.
walked. They couldn't kill him the first time, but he just so happened to go buy a sandwich. He walks out of the sandwich shop and he's there, so he shoots him. Like that's how the war started.
That's some Final
some dude
Destination
decided
shit.
to buy his sandwich. It's like
No, no, that is some Godfather shit.
Yeah.
You just
No,
walk,
it's like
you walk
but
out on the
you're-
street, bam, hell
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
Vito.
that
Yeah.
you're destined to die. Like if you dodge one,
yeah.
like it's
But
the next one's coming for
yeah.
you.
But the thing is, like Archduke Franz Ferdinand wanted Serbia to have its freedom anyway. They didn't want to keep like using them as a vassal state because it wasn't worth the time. Like he was going to give them their freedom. That's the thing. That's the weird part about the war is like it literally did not need to happen. But Germany was
Well,
going to get into a war no matter
Someone
what.
wanted it to happen.
If you look at the Schlieffen Plan, Germany was planning on getting into a war no matter what because they wanted to colonize long term. But
War's
that's
big
a whole
business.
different story. And they were already
I would
working with
argue
Turkey,
that
or the Ottoman
that
Empire,
all
so-
wars since we started shooting the Germans didn't need to happen. But you know,
They were helpful.
Oh,
during
wait, I
the
forgot.
Napoleonic Wars, the Prussians.
the United
all that.
States has not been involved in a war since World War II. I keep forgetting. We've been involved
The
in
police actions.
non-congressional sanctioned military actions.
Yeah, we only policed. We policed Vietnam.
You know,
Yeah. We policed Vietnam with
It
soldiers
is what it
and
is.
tanks and helicopters.
Gaming podcast.
and if you'd like to know more about this, subscribe to my libertarian podcast. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, but yeah. So, anybody in chat have any questions before we head out? Any of you guys have anything else you want to say as like a final thing? Any other
Somebody-
points?
I would say when it comes to fucking doing campaigns, do what you fucking want to do, and if you can find 3 to 5 people who kind of think that it's fun and cool, then just keep fucking
Yeah.
doing it, and you're fine.
Yeah.
Like, as much fucking shit as we talk about one method or the other, like, there's no
Yeah. There's no
Technical-
concrete.
It's okay
I
to
mean,
be
Matt,
wrong.
Matt,
There
plug your
are,
ears.
there are a few
plug your
rules.
ears. There's no technical right or wrong way to do a campaign.
Correct.
I
Like,
will,
really,
like,
re-
yeah. So there
like,
is a
at the
wrong
end
way
of
to
the
do a
day-
campaign. There is a wrong way to do a campaign, and it's to not
that is true.
use it. It is to ignore the safety tools that you put in place and
Yeah.
trigger people.
yeah.
That is the wrong
But I mean,
way
you
to
know,
run a
as
campaign.
long as your
And I've
players
seen that
are
happen.
comfortable and fun,
Yeah.
you're doing
yeah,
fine. Keep doing that,
Yeah.
and you're fine.
Yeah.
You know, like, other than that, fuck it, take
Whoa,
some dice, throw them against the
Hold
wall.
on. What's the
What?
question?
How does
How's a complete virgin get involved in tabletop with so many options? It's a bit intimidating. to
Maybe
point
check better verbiage next time.
one tabletop thing. So
So
I would say
join Matt's games. He's a professional
That's
DM.
how I started. That's how I started.
That's
Or
what I
I
would
mean, if
say
you
is-
want, if you're just
Or,
in Fallout, you can always sit in on somebody's table.
yeah, you can always
or
just
like,
kind of take a look.
honestly, son, when this goes off the air, just click the little fucking Twitch button in the top left-hand corner, whatever fucking corner it's in. I think it's the left-hand corner. Yeah, click the Twitch button in the left-hand corner of the browser window, and then hit
Watch some D&D.
browse and go to Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
kind of the catch-all for tabletop on Twitch,
Yeah.
and just watch.
Yeah.
Like, watch some Critical Role. Like, it's
yeah.
very
I don't know.
viewer-
Critical Role like skews people's ideas of what D&D is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't
but
know.
it's-
Critical Role.
at the same
in
time,
what-
though, you get the essence of tabletop.
Yeah,
It is
but
friends
you are-
having
yeah.
fun rolling dice. Now,
Yeah.
unless
Your
you're
friends
playing
are not
at
professional.
yeah,
role
unless you're playing at
actors.
Noah or Matt's table, you're not going to get that level of GM.
Whoa! Pump the fucking brakes there, dickhead.
Once again, Noah or Matt's table, you're not going to get that level of GM. Of course, Joe's pretty good too, from what I hear. But
What Noah's not telling you is he plays on both of my tables.
So
I know, but I got to shit on you at least once this week.
Wait,
'cause
so
I
does
got-
Matt when he
Kenny-
wants to.
Matt, can you put your link to your start playing in the chat so that people can find you and just go that
I
route?
I sure can. However, I happen to know that Sunseal doesn't need the link to my start playing games because she's a friend of mine. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
but
then you
I
should
will
just
put
talk
but
to
I will
Matt.
put it in
Yeah.
just for the I will
Yeah.
put it in for the
Like,
sake of
just
whoever.
if you're not going to do anything else, like the most basic thing that you can do is go watch somebody's stream of some tabletop game. You will get
Yeah.
it, and then you can be like, okay, this is either for me, this is not me. If it's for you, then once
Or
again, Facebook, Reddit,
Yeah.
Google,
well,
these things are all things.
And I mean, and
This is
also
this
like,
is going to sound very counterproductive to the audience that we are attempting to cater to, but I would say maybe stay away from your local game store for your first tabletop experience
yeah,
because most of
especially
those
if you're a
people don't
woman.
know what deodorant is.
yeah.
Especially if you're a
Uh,
woman.
son, real quick, Matt knows how to get a hold of me, and if you want to
Yeah.
sit on one of my tables and just watch, you absolutely can do that.
Hey
Like
Kristen.
I stream over Zoom.
Hey Kristen.
Yes.
With the exception of Joe, all of the people in this conversation are in my Discord.
Sweet.
I'm in your
I am
Discord.
too.
So all you have
That's
to do is
super.
just at Sunsail.
Yeah. Okay.
Or I could
And
say
you'd be
that
able
and they
to-
can find me because I'm lazy. That is
But-
also a thing.
So
I mean,
I
you
do
know.
want to make another point though. If you don't find D&D interesting or you feel like it's too much, don't just stop there. Because there's
I don't like
also way
D&D.
simpler games. Just play
Yeah.
like look up lasers and feelings. You know what I mean? Like
Seventh Sig.
there's simpler games that you don't need to put a lot of effort in to learn and play them. So like don't 7C like don't just look at D and D and
Kristen
think,
puts
well, this
zero
is for
effort
me.
into running a Fallout
Um,
table.
Or it may be that 5th edition doesn't have all that you want, but guess what does? If you want all the rules, we got Shadowrun for you. Shadowrun's got all the rules for everything. Like literally everything you can do has a rule for it for some odd reason. So I mean, all I'm saying is like there's a big variety, and you should embrace that variety, and don't just base it on one game. Like first, for sure, watch D&D because that's gonna be the easiest place to find games is through D&D and Pathfinder. But then just go all over the place and just like learn. other
Variety
games.
is the ice spice of life, or whatever
Yeah,
that
yeah,
sentence is.
yeah.
Hey, wait a second. I don't mean to be like this, but right now over on the Modifius channel, they're actually running the Winter of Adam campaign using the 2d20 rules. So, let's see, they are 23 minutes into what is probably a 43-minute thing. So, if we want, I mean, Modifius doesn't endorse us, but we could raid whenever we leave channel and just basically dump anybody who's in here just into a campaign. So
son, that is why I would specifically recommend watch Critical Role because they cater to a very broad, generalized audience.
And
they do not get super technical. Now,
right.
Matt Mercer gets super technical because he,
That's-
creates and he homebrews the fuck out of most of his worlds, right?
Yeah,
So like, but the actual gameplay is going to be, and this is not like a hit at the table of Critical Role, but it's going to be very simple player interaction gameplay.
But the other cool thing is this, like if you're not like, if you want to kind of, there's a lot of, if you go and you just look at the tabletop RPG category on Twitch, or you go and you look at the Dungeons and Dragons category on Twitch, you're going to find a shit ton of people. The reason that I recommend, if I'm going to recommend Critical Role, which first off, that implies I'm going to endorse Dungeons and Dragons, which but if I'm going to endorse Critical Role, then
you're endorsing Toldari.
Here's the thing. Here's where I'm at. Liam O'Brien is the voice of Gara. He's the voice of a bunch of different anime characters. Ashley Johnson is Ellie from The Last of Us. She's a list of other people. These are voice actors that you have seen in other projects, either animated or live action, and
they're professionals.
In a way, and plus, ready for this, they have been at this now for what, 4 or 5 years at this point.
A long time.
Campaign 3 is like 5 or 6, 7 years of them all being together playing. So you have a group that's much more comfortable with each other, much more willing to kind of like bend rules and enjoy themselves. That would be and Matt is an engaging storyteller. So that's my thing for Critical Role. But if that's not your vibe, Like you can go to YouTube. You can go to YouTube right now, and anytime you type in the words "actual play" and then a game
Yeah.
system, you'll come up with some game. Like
Yeah.
hell, just recently they released the Avatar: The Last Airbender role-playing game, and
Yeah.
if you go onto YouTube right now and type in Avatar actual
played that. It's
play
fun.
game, well, the thing is, if you type in Avatar actual play game, one
Yeah,
of the
you'll get it.
top one of the top results on YouTube is an actual play that stars Dante Bosco and a bunch of the voice actors of Avatar playing the role playing game. And so, in a way, you can kind of, these are characters you know. Like, I'd watch Dante
Yeah.
Bosco not because he was Zuko, but because he was Rufio and he's my leader.
Rufio.
Yeah, exactly. So
sorry,
anyway,
sorry.
Hook is fucking
All
goaded,
three of
bro.
us.
Hook
Like,
is
there's
goaded.
There's like 17-year-olds watching this right now. Like, who the fuck is Rufio? It's like,
Looky, I got
they would
Hooky.
know him.
you don't even
Well, that's
know.
the thing. They would know him as Zuko.
Zuko, yeah.
But Dante
Maybe.
Bosco's been in a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But at any rate, the thing
And
is,
I think
if you're not comfortable, because it could overwhelm you with
Yeah.
just, you don't know who to look at first. But like,
Yeah.
here's the deal. I'll give you my list. The Beyond 20 is like, it's there, it's good, but
Yeah,
it's
Dimension 20.
if
is good too.
it's D&D, I'd go Critical Role, then I'd go Dimension 20, maybe Beyond 20. Then I would look up, if you're wanting to do, because Son, I know for a fact you're a Star Trek person. I would look up, there's an amazing actual player called ELH Mark 1. And she is currently running, like, she I don't know, they use a virtual avatar.
Yeah.
They currently have like 4 different Star Trek campaigns going, where like one's a starbase campaign, one's an exploration spaceship campaign. One of them, there was literally an entire campaign where they were species 8473, 8472, and they were infiltrating Starfleet Academy as gardeners. Like,
That's awesome.
it's there, and ELH Mark 1 is a great resource for that. And then
Star
if you're
Trek,
ever
that's the one with lightsabers, right?
just-
if you're ever
want-
uncertain, if you like a particular IP,
Yeah.
find
that's
out
awesome.
who runs that role playing game, and then
Yeah.
follow their channels, because
Yeah.
they're in the business of promoting their shit. So they'll have a good avenue for you.
And to go a little bit further, just whatever IP you're really, really, really into, search that and then RPG. That's how I found Fallout RPG. I like Fallout, I like tabletop games. And I also like Modifius, and I like pretty much everything they make. But that's just it. Like, find an IP that you really, really like, and then put RPG in there, and then put actual play, and you'll be able to watch tons of people playing that game that you are also interested in.
We should have a
And-
discussion at some point about licensed RPGs versus kind of open RPGs. Like, there's
Yeah.
Frostmourne, but there's also whatever else.
Yeah.
I think it's because there's a certain way that I approach. This is a side tangent, I guess, but there's a certain way I approach licensed IPs as opposed to like the world's most overhyped RPG.
Yeah, I mean, licensed
I could
IP,
see-
you have to be careful about like changing things, because it's people. Some people are just very, like, especially like Star Wars. I know some people with Star Wars that are just like very attached to all the facts of Star Wars and the worlds themselves, around the books.
That's the one with the
I
Enterprise, right?
didn't-
Yeah. Well, like I said,
Yeah,
that's a
that's-
bigger,
that's
that's
one
a
of the
much
things,
bigger, that's a much
Yeah.
bigger discussion than not
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
hour and a
not
half
for
we have.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we should probably wrap it up. So I just want to say, Kickstarters right now, back Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland. You already know, Lord Randy be praised, and back Roll of Truth, Roll of Fate, sorry,
Roll of Fate.
yeah, Roll of Fate, back that. All friends of the show. Also, if you wanna- thank you for the follow.
I have a pre-order / Kickstarter thing that I want to very briefly mention before we leave.
Okay.
But keep going.
So back those Domanwood, please back that. It's almost at 1.2 million. It's a massive Kickstarter, and it's a great game. Sunseal, are you an Eve player by any chance? Because the 07 is definitely an Eve thing. But yeah, Matt, what were you gonna say?
Okay, so two things. One,
There, yeah.
two things. One, CMON, Cool Meaning or Not, has recently announced pre-orders, pre-sales for the Assassin's Creed role-playing game. I haven't seen too many details on it, but the thing is, when you look at the written description of what you're playing, my expert opinion, take this as you will, is why aren't you just playing 7th Sea?
Yeah.
Because 7th Sea and Assassin's Creed are almost
They're very close.
interchangeable.
Yeah.
No, they're almost interchangeable. Like all you got to do is figure out how to do like Isu bullshittery that gets unlocked in skill trees in some of these later games, and that's easy enough. Like I was about to do that like this afternoon or whatever. So anyway,
And
yeah,
then
what was
I
I
would
saying?
say, you know, Lorcana comes out this weekend. Officially.
Yeah, we're going to be we're going to do an unboxing as soon as he gets his cards.
hey, Lorcana's a card game, Kristen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Sunseal, just so you know, I was a suicide ganker, so you probably hate me. The pirate life is for me. Yeah, that's about it. Back all those games. Also back Eat the Reich. If you haven't seen that yet, it's like a Wolfenstein with vampires.
Dude, I
game.
saw that. I kind of want to.
Yeah.
I kind of want to play.
I
with
backed it. I backed it. If you don't back it, I will send you the PDF because it is.
Okay.
It looks awesome. It looks amazing.
And
Your
if you're not going to
vampire-
back any of them, back us. Just saying.
Yeah. Back us. We don't actually ask for money because I don't feel like doing taxes on that shit. But
What's
find
taxes?
us and just follow us. Texas. Screw you guys. Follow us on Facebook. We don't have an Instagram, but Facebook and Discord and all that. Yeah. Yeah. Screw Texas
Facebook,
with your no
Twitter,
taxes
Discord,
and all that.
YouTube.
Yeah.
We just don't have state income tax. I still got to pay the fucking feds.
That's not paying the state is
Hate
nice
those
though.
guys. Yeah, it is. But
you're
we make
Care
up for it.
Bear, yeah.
Trust me. All right. Well,
No, yeah.
this has been this
Outro.
week's episode of the Monday Night RPG Talk Show, live and in your fucking faces from Degenerates with Dice. Ladies and gentlemen, they've got tonight, once again, Joe,
Hello.
Matt, Kristen,
Oh,
everybody's favorite internet dipshit, me. And we will see you again Monday of next week if
Yep.
I survive this wedding that I have to officiate this weekend.
Yeah. Oof.
But I am slightly prepared. Almost. That's half the cases that are showing up. So I think I'll make it through it. I think I'll make it through. We should be all right.
Sounds good.
But
yeah. We'll see about getting a guest star coming up here soon. Probably next couple weeks. I'll try and find another guest star. And yeah. See you guys in a week. Bye.
who are we kidding?
Hello.
Who are we kidding? Chat, you're the guest star.
Always. We love you guys.
That-
See you.